God says, "Listen closely, my beloved soul, because this moment was arranged with care. Nothing pulled you here by accident. Even the pause you felt before continuing was intentional. When heaven wants your attention, it does not shout, it gently places stillness in your path. And right now, that stillness is speaking to you. You may not realize it yet, but you have been sensing a shift for some time. A quiet inner awareness that something is changing, something you could not fully explain. It showed up in small moments, when your thoughts suddenly slowed, when a memory resurfaced without reason, when you felt both tired and hopeful at the same time. These were not random feelings. They were signals that truth was preparing itself to be understood. Archangel Michael stands beside you in strength and calm, not to rush you, not to frighten you, but to ground you. His presence is firm yet reassuring, reminding you that you are protected even when answers are delayed. Protection does not always look like intervention. Sometimes it looks like patience, like pauses, like redirection that only makes sense later. There have been questions resting quietly in your heart. Questions you stopped asking out loud because you did not want to force answers that were not ready. You learned to live with uncertainty without losing yourself, and that alone shows how much you have grown. Growth is rarely loud. Most of the time, it happens in silence. This message is reaching you now because your spirit has matured enough to receive clarity without confusion. Earlier, the same truth may have felt overwhelming. Today, it will feel stabilizing. That difference matters. It means you are no longer reacting emotionally, you are responding consciously. You may have felt misunderstood at times, even by people close to you. Not because you were unclear, but because others were not ready to see you fully. Being unseen does not mean being insignificant. Often, it means you are ahead of the moment, waiting for alignment to catch up. Archangel Michael reminds you that what is meant for you does not need force. It finds you when you are steady, not desperate. That is why certain things slowed down instead of rushing forward. Delay was not denial. It was refinement. Notice how your heart has become quieter lately. Not numb, but balanced. You still care deeply, but you are no longer losing yourself in uncertainty. This calm did not come from answers, it came from self-trust. Self-trust is the foundation of every lasting blessing. There is an unrevealed truth connected to your journey, but it is not a secret meant to shock you. It is an understanding meant to anchor you. Truth that arrives gently stays longer than truth delivered with noise. This message is not asking you to do anything right now. It is asking you to be present. Presence is powerful. When you are present, you recognize alignment without chasing it. You feel clarity without demanding it. You have already released many things without realizing it: old expectations, unnecessary guilt, the need to explain yourself to everyone. These releases created space. And where there is space, truth can finally enter. As you continue listening, let go of the urge to predict what comes next. Understanding unfolds naturally when you stop trying to control it. Trust that what needs to be revealed will come in a way that protects your peace. This is only the beginning of the message, not because something dramatic must happen, but because awareness is opening layer by layer. You are safe here. You are supported here. And you are ready to hear what comes next. God says. As you move deeper into this message, allow yourself to remain calm and open, because what unfolds now is not meant to rush your emotions, but to steady them. You have already walked through confusion without breaking, and that strength is the reason this understanding can reach you now. There were seasons when you felt pulled in different directions, unsure which inner voice to trust, yet somehow you continued forward with grace. That grace was not accidental. It was cultivated through experience. There has been a quiet process unfolding around you, even when nothing on the surface seemed to change. While you were living your daily life, learning, adapting, and letting go, something unseen was aligning. Alignment does not always announce itself with obvious signs. Often, it works silently, adjusting circumstances, softening resistance, and preparing hearts long before clarity appears. You may recall moments when things did not work out the way you hoped. Plans shifted, conversations ended without resolution, opportunities paused unexpectedly. At the time, these moments felt like setbacks. But now, you are being shown that they were protective pauses. Each pause kept you from stepping into something incomplete or emotionally unstable. Archangel Michael's presence is steady here, not because you are in danger, but because you are in transition. Transition requires grounding. Without grounding, growth becomes overwhelming. With grounding, growth becomes sustainable. That is why this message carries calm instead of urgency. There is an unrevealed truth connected to your journey that has less to do with others and more to do with you. It is about recognizing how much you have changed. You are no longer reacting from old patterns. You are responding from awareness. That shift alone changes everything. In the past, you may have felt the need to explain yourself, to justify your feelings, or to prove your intentions. Slowly, you learn that clarity does not come from explanation, it comes from alignment. When you are aligned, the right people understand you without effort, and the wrong ones naturally drift away without conflict. This message is also reminding you that silence is not always absence. Sometimes silence is space being created for something stronger to emerge. You learned how to sit with silence without letting it define your worth. That lesson prepared you for the truth you are now ready to receive. Notice how your inner dialogue has softened. You no longer criticize yourself the way you once did. You no longer rush emotional decisions. You pause, you reflect, you choose thoughtfully. These are signs of emotional maturity, not emotional withdrawal. There were times when you wondered if patience was costing you opportunities. In reality, patience was saving you from misalignment. What is meant for you will not require you to abandon your peace. Anything that demands anxiety as a price is not aligned with your path. The unrevealed truth also includes this understanding: you were never meant to force outcomes. You were meant to become steady enough to recognize when outcomes arrive naturally. Recognition feels different from chasing. Recognition feels calm, certain, and grounded. Archangel Michael is guiding you to trust this calm. Calm is not stagnation. Calm is readiness. From calm, wise action flows effortlessly. As this message continues, you may feel a quiet reassurance replacing old doubt. Let that reassurance settle. It is not excitement meant to fade, it is clarity meant to stay. You are being prepared to move forward with awareness rather than expectation. Awareness allows you to see clearly without disappointment. Expectation often blinds us to what is actually unfolding. Remain present with this message. There is more understanding to come, and it will arrive gently, in layers, without overwhelming you. What is being revealed is meant to strengthen you, not unsettle you. This is not the end of the message. It is the deepening of it. God says. As this message continues, allow yourself to notice how your breathing has slowed, how your thoughts are no longer racing the way they once did. That change is important, because clarity does not arrive in chaos. It arrives when the soul feels safe enough to listen. You have reached that place now, not because life suddenly became easy, but because you learned how to remain steady even when life felt uncertain. There is a deeper layer to the truth that has not yet been spoken, and it revolves around timing. Not the timing you measure with clocks or calendars, but the inner timing of readiness. Many things you once wanted could not have stayed with you if they had arrived earlier. They would have required versions of you that no longer exist. You were still learning boundaries, still discovering your worth, still understanding what peace actually feels like. Archangel Michael stands with you now because you are no longer seeking validation from the past. You are not asking old questions with new awareness. You are asking new questions that come from growth. That is why the answers are beginning to reveal themselves slowly, carefully, in ways that will last. There were moments when you felt guided away from certain people or paths without explanation. At the time, it felt confusing, maybe even painful. But what you could not see then is that those redirections were not punishments or losses. They were refinements. They were shaping you into someone who no longer tolerates emotional imbalance, uncertainty, or inconsistency. You may have noticed how your tolerance for confusion has decreased. What once felt exciting now feels draining. What once felt familiar now feels heavy. This is not because something is wrong with you. It is because your inner alignment has shifted. When alignment shifts, the soul naturally seeks environments that reflect truth rather than tension. The unrevealed truth also includes this: you were protected from knowing certain things too early. Some truths arrive only after healing, not before. If they had been revealed sooner, they might have wounded instead of awakened. Now, your heart is strong enough to receive understanding without bitterness. Archangel Michael is reminding you that strength does not always look like endurance. Sometimes strength looks like release. Releasing expectations, releasing old interpretations, releasing the need to make sense of everything immediately. Peace comes when you allow understanding to unfold naturally rather than demanding it all at once. You are being guided to trust the pauses in your life. Those pauses were not empty. They were full of unseen adjustments. While you rested, reflected, or simply survived, unseen forces were rearranging outcomes, dissolving conflicts before they reached you, and redirecting situations that would have drained your energy. There is also something important being clarified within you. Not every connection is meant to last forever, but every meaningful connection teaches something essential. You have already learned what you needed to learn. That is why certain chapters feel complete, even if they never had dramatic endings. Archangel Michael's guidance is gentle here because your soul already understands more than your mind realizes. You do not need dramatic revelations. You need confirmation. And this message is exactly that, confirmation that you are not behind, not lost, and not missing what is meant for you. You are standing at a point where discernment has replaced urgency. You no longer rush decisions out of fear of missing out. You wait until something feels calm, aligned, and steady. That inner steadiness is your protection now. As you continue listening, you may feel an emotional softness rather than intensity. That softness is not weakness, it is openness. Openness allows truth to land gently instead of forcefully. The truth being revealed to you now is meant to settle into your life quietly and transform it over time. You are also being reminded that not every answer arrives as words. Some answers arrive as peace, as certainty without explanation, as a sense of knowing that does not require proof. Trust that knowing. It has been growing within you for a long time. This part of the message is not asking you to do anything differently. It is asking you to recognize how far you have already come. Recognition changes perception. Perception changes experience. Stay with this message. The clarity continues to deepen. God says, as this message reaches its deeper completion, allow yourself to sit with the stillness that is forming inside you. This stillness is not emptiness. It is understanding settling into place. You are not being asked to search anymore. You are being invited to recognize what has already been forming quietly within you for a long time. The unrevealed truth was never meant to arrive as a single dramatic moment. It was meant to unfold gently, because gentle truths stay longer. You have reached a point where you no longer need to be pushed forward by fear, urgency, or pressure. You move now because something feels right, not because something feels missing. Archangel Michael remains with you here to affirm something important. Your life is not stalled. It has been stabilizing. Stability does not look impressive from the outside, but it is the foundation on which lasting peace and meaningful progress are built. Without stability, growth collapses. With stability, growth becomes effortless. There were times when you questioned whether your patience was being tested unnecessarily. In truth, patience was training your discernment. You learned how to tell the difference between desire and alignment, between attachment and purpose, between familiarity and truth. That learning changed how you show up in every area of your life. You are no longer drawn to intensity for the sake of feeling alive. You are drawn to depth because depth sustains you. What once felt exciting now feels exhausting if it lacks honesty. What once felt uncertain now feels unacceptable. These shifts are signs of inner authority taking root. Archangel Michael wants you to understand that you are not meant to return to who you were. That version of you served a purpose, but it is complete. You are now someone who listens more deeply, chooses more carefully, and trusts their inner sense without constant reassurance. The truth being revealed is also this: you were protected not only from people and situations, but from becoming someone you were never meant to be. Certain pressures did not succeed because they were not aligned with your nature. Certain doors did not open because they would have required you to abandon your values. You may notice now how your reactions have softened. You respond rather than react. You observe rather than assume. You allow rather than force. These qualities are not accidental. They are evidence of growth that cannot be undone. Archangel Michael is guiding you to honor this version of yourself. Do not minimize your progress just because it happened quietly. Quiet progress is often the most profound. Loud change fades quickly, quiet change reshapes lives. There is also a release happening within you as this message completes. A release from the need to control outcomes. A release from the need to know everything in advance. A release from the fear of being misunderstood. When you release these needs, you make space for clarity to arrive naturally. You are being reminded that your path does not need comparison. What is aligned with you will never require competition. What is meant for you will not bypass you. Timing may differ, but direction remains constant. Archangel Michael's presence here is a confirmation that you are being supported even when nothing dramatic appears to be happening. Support does not always announce itself. Sometimes it simply holds you steady while life rearranges itself quietly around you. As you finish listening to this message, notice how your body feels. There is less tension, less urgency, more grounded awareness. That shift matters. It is a signal that your inner world is aligning with truth rather than fear. You are not being asked to make sudden decisions. You are being asked to trust your steadiness. From steadiness, the next step will become obvious without effort. This message does not end with instruction. It ends with reassurance. You are not alone in your process. You are not late in your journey. You are exactly where clarity can finally land without resistance. Archangel Michael remains with you not as a voice demanding attention, but as a presence affirming your strength. Carry this calm forward. It will guide you more accurately than urgency ever could. The truth has been revealed in the only way it could remain with you, gently, honestly, and completely. If this message resonated with your soul, don't forget to like and share so this divine energy reaches more hearts. Subscribe now for daily spiritual messages and comment, Amen, to affirm your faith and blessings.